What's up, everybody? It's John. I'm starting to make a habit of this thing, so I don't know. We'll see if anybody else other than me likes it. Anyway, so I'm currently not working so hard on a Friday, and am out Halloween, or I don't know, spooky, gothic, Halloween home decor hunting for my wife. And I guess I also like all this stuff. So we're a bit of spooky people, and have the house pretty much pretty decked out in gothic decor and stuff like that. So it's kind of around that season for things to start really coming out. So she's working, and I am choosing not to work, I guess, and go around and check some of these places that we frequent for anything new. So I guess I was trying to think of what I could do a video on, and if there's anything I want to talk about. And last night we also, in addition to play games and I guess decorate gothically, whatever, we also go to concerts all the time. So always going to metal shows and festivals, and we go to several a month usually. And last night we went to an Indianapolis show, which are based out of Kentucky. So it was Indianapolis, and it was supposed to be Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Powerman 5000, and Static X. So it was kind of a shit show. We get to the venue, which I hate that freaking venue up there. It's Roof, however you say it, Music Center in Noblesville, Indiana. It's a garbage venue. I feel like there's so many things about it I don't like, and oftentimes we go there and the things just, I have complaints, I guess. And I don't really feel like I'm a picky person. We just go to so many places and see how well it can be done, and it's done so terribly there all the time. So we went there. We get there, it's 1,000 degrees outside, like it is everywhere else in the world, and the doors aren't open. Ticketmaster listed the event at 6. That's when it was supposed to start. So on social media, that venue earlier that day had posted that encouraged everybody to get there early, really, so they don't miss any of the show, because it's starting early at 6, because there's so many acts to go through. So we get there at 6, and we see a bunch of people standing outside, and they haven't opened the doors yet. I'm like, well, that's weird. So we go and find the back of the line, which is like a freaking mile away, and we're standing out there again, 1,000,000,000 degrees, like there's no water. You're out in the middle of this field, and hot as shit. And after probably 30-40 minutes or whatever, somebody walks around. We're still wondering what's going on, why haven't they let us in. And one of the staff walks by and says, social media has been updated. And at first he doesn't even tell us what it is. He just said, social media's been updated, just check it out. And then he ends up saying that a production truck, I guess, on the way there had broke down. Turns out it caught fire, actually. So things were delayed, and they weren't opening the doors until 7. So, at this point, it's still like a half an hour away, 40 minutes away or something, and we're feeling like we're done anyway. So I'm like, well, at this point, let's go back and sit in the car and just turn the air on for a bit. So that's what we do. We walk all the way back to the car, turn the air on, get a little bit of reprieve. We wait around until 7:05, 10 after 7, something like that, and they finally start letting us in. The crowd's moving, so we kind of let it die down a little bit and go up there, because it's normally we're in the pit in general admission, But for this particular show, because I was bringing my son, we got seats. So it kind of didn't matter really when we got through the door. So we just kind of let it die down a little bit, go up there, get in the door, and that goes fairly smoothly. But we get inside, and the stage does not look anywhere near ready. And we're about 7 o'clock at this point. So the other problem is in Noblesville, Indiana, they have a stupid ordinance. Well, I guess for certain places it would be fine, but it's there's a noise ordinance for 11 p.m. So no matter what happens, everything has to be over at 11. So you're talking 4 bands. By the way, one thing I didn't mention when they came around and told us about the production trailer, they also said that the first 2 bands, which would be Static X and Powerman 5000, would not be performing. So you're missing half the concert at this point. It would just be Mudvayne and Rob Zombie. So, I mean, that's cool, but, it's a little bit of a drive for me. It's like a 2-hour drive to Indy. And I've seen Rob Zombie so many times that, again, it's always a great show. I love seeing him. But I really came there for the other bands that I hadn't seen. So that was kind of disappointing news. So anyway, back to where we were. We go in. The stage doesn't look anywhere ready. It's 7 o'clock at this point. So, let's see, it's probably about 7:30 at this point. And I'm like, well, that's something. That's, like I've seen lots of stages and them take quite a bit of time, and it look a lot further along than this. So, like the lighting trellis and stuff, like up high for some of the screens and lights and stuff, like it was down. It wasn't even raised all the way up. And I'm used to kind of seeing some of those like on the sides and the back that are down, but never one of the ones that's in the front. So that's down. And then I also noticed there's nobody in the pit, and then the lower seating area, which is where we were, it was all empty. So we go to get to our seat, and they say, no, we're not letting anybody down there. And I guess it was a safety thing for that lighting trellis, before they got that up in the air and secured. They wouldn't let anybody sit in those lower areas. So because of that, we're standing around. Well, then they talk about basically the new start time for the event was going to be 9 o'clock. So, do the math. You have Mudvayne and Rob Zombie with a transition period in a 2-hour slot. So it's really not going well, and kind of pissing everybody off. So, we're watching. We still can't get in the seats until, it was probably 8:45 or so, 8:40-ish, maybe. I don't know, 8:30 at the earliest that we got to actually get down in our seats. So, we're standing around as not in our seats, waiting to go down there for the show start. So they did finally get the stuff up. We got in our seat somewhere in that range that I mentioned. And they actually did get the show started at 9 o'clock. Mudvayne played until about, let's see, what did they play? I guess it was about 9:45. And then they stopped, broke down the set, transitioned to Zombie, and he was playing by around 10:15. So, you kind of had like 45 minutes for both bands. At least in my thoughts. So, they did end up going a little bit over. I think it was like 11:15 when he actually stopped playing. Turns out, that Mudvayne put on a great show. Rob Zombie put on a great show. Always amazing. Good to see him. It was a short set. One thing I really liked is Zero, who's currently singing for Static X, came out. And him and Spider, which is Rob Zombie's brother and the front man for Powerman 5000, they both came on stage with Rob at one point and did a couple songs. They did Thunderkiss 65 and Blitzkrieg Bop. So, like, it was a very cool moment. It was awesome to see him. You know, it was really disappointing for a lot of those factors, but, you know, in the end, it was a great show, and it should have been a whole lot longer. So I don't know if they're issuing any kind of refunds or partial refunds or any of that stuff. Very disappointing. But, you know, they also kind of eventually said that it was what had happened, that, you know, a production trailer caught fire, it was broke down. They finally got all the stuff there, and they just didn't have time to get all that stuff set up, and they didn't want to cancel the show because there's been so many cancellations and stuff like that for other stuff. And I don't know. It sucks. It was unfortunate, but it really wasn't like the band's fault or really anybody's fault. I mean, sometimes things just happen like that. So, I guess my point, other than sharing that experience, is just to kind of say, you know, oftentimes you're in a situation where a concert gets delayed, or a game gets delayed, and things don't really work out how they're supposed to. Sometimes it's for bad decisions and corporate greed and, you know, who knows what else. But sometimes there's just factors that's out of anybody's control. So, you know, it's important to keep that stuff in mind and kind of try to curb your expectations sometimes, or maybe be a little understanding. And I mean, we're all guilty of it for sure. I think, though, you know, it's just important to kind of remember that stuff, and like a lesson to just put yourself in artist shoes or developer shoes, or you know, I don't know. But again, you got to be careful, because people will take advantage of the you know, given the benefit of the doubt sometimes. But it's a fair lesson, I think, a good lesson, just to try to be understanding and I don't know, make the best of a situation. I think it's a good lesson that we can all at least strive to do. It's definitely hard to. So anyway, that's my rant message, inspirational talk, I don't know, but that's what I got to say. So till next video, see you guys.